Well, good evening and happy Monday to the Mission Possible team and our sweet Juice Plus family. I'm Sharon Rankin and I am zooming in from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm delighted to see you this evening and delighted to welcome you to our weekly Mission Possible call, which is really under the auspices or the banner of the Juice Plus Company, which is a 50-year-old successful company. We've had our best year this last year that we've ever had, and we are continuing strong. So Juice Plus, we know, is making a difference in over 27 countries and growing with our mission of inspiring healthy living. So we have quite a wide vision and cast of what we're doing to make a difference. The Mission Possible team is our mission is that we are a growing team of inspired individuals, ambassadors for change, agents for change, dedicated to creating a healthier, more prosperous life now, today, for families and for future generations. And your presence tonight here says so very much. It says that you care about that inspiring healthy living, about making a difference. And each week when we come together, it is about how we work together as a team, how we want to create environments for growth and environments for training and inspiration. So tonight you're going to be inspired, and I'm going to turn it over to National Marketing Director BJ Crabtree to introduce our speaker. Welcome, BJ.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I truly have a great honor this evening introducing our guest speaker, Karrie Brummett. She is an executive marketing director, but I met Karrie several years ago when we were working together in Prevention St. Louis, creating events, planning, doing regionals, and we had the best time. And what I really like about Karrie is she's always smiling, she's always happy, she's always very pleasant, but she stands very strong on what's right. And I love that about her. She is just an amazing, strong person. The other things that I love is she's always joyful, but she's very kind spirited in everything that she does. She makes people feel really warm and comfortable. And she's brave. I talk about her bravery. I've seen her be very brave. And she's a beautiful Nana. She loves her grandbabies, right? Loves to have fun with them. And then I looked at her Facebook page today, and the most important thing that I love about her and what she says there is that she loves teaching others how to live their best life. And on her banner, it says, make the rest of your life the best of your life. And that's Karrie. Welcome, Karrie, and thank you for joining us this evening.
Oh, BJ, thank you. That was the sweetest introduction. Well, hello, everyone. I'm so thrilled to be here tonight. Like I said, I know many of your faces, and some of your faces I don't know. So it's an honor to be able to speak to you on your team call, especially amongst all of these people that I know and love and I admire and have been mentors in my business. Sidelines, like BJ said, we've worked together in Prevention STL. And I just love and admire so many of you already on this call. So thank you for having me. And for those of you that I don't know, let me kind of introduce myself, and I'm going to just tell you my story. Okay. And like I told Sharon earlier, she's like, you don't have to tell it all. I go, well, that's me. I just kind of tell it all because I don't know how, and I just don't know how else to be. That's how I am. So we're going to kind of get into my story in the past and then some struggles. And my hope and prayer is that I do give you some hope. I give you some light. I always tell my team, I'm like, I must give you a lot of hope, y'all. That's all I can say is that if I can do it, you can do it. Right. And to inspire you and encourage you in your journey. Okay. So for those of you that I don't know, like BJ said, my name is Karrie Brummett. I live in the St. Louis, Missouri area. I've been married for 33 years to my big sexy husband, Bob. And that's how it comes up on my phone, my big sexy husband. I've been at presentations where it comes up, your big sexy husband's calling. So you can't take yourself too seriously, okay? That's the first thing. It's just don't take yourself too seriously. But we do have 3 grown kids. We have 3 adorable grandkids, and that is just my greatest joy lately is grandkids, right? I thought being a mom was great, but being a nana is amazing. So, my background, what is professional dabbler. I just did a little bit of everything before I was a mom, but my greatest joy and my greatest privilege was the initials that I had, MOM. That was my greatest joy. I didn't have any other initials. I didn't have a BS or a PhD or an MD or any other initials, but MOM. And I just felt very honored and privileged in that. And now, guess what, though? I do have the initials EMD after my name. And I'm also equally as proud of that. So my team and I achieved that position back in September in the fall. And in a year that, you know what, could have been a really easy year to just not do anything, to get caught up in distractions, couldn't it? I mean, I think we all really can relate to how much noise and distraction was in the world, how difficult 2020 was for a lot of us. But like Sharon said, we had our best year ever in the company. What does that say about who we are? What does that say about our company? What does that say about my team? Wow, I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of them. So I'm going to tell you my story, and then we'll talk a little bit about my journey and how I got here, speaking to you guys about that tonight. So in 2004, I was 41. So 41 years old when I heard about Juice Plus and I heard about this opportunity. So for those of you that are on the line tonight, maybe newer, and you're just starting and you're maybe a little bit older, it's never too late to start your dream. Okay. It's never too late. And if I would have thought, oh my gosh, it's too late for me, I wouldn't be here in front of you today. And a lot of people wouldn't be here. So it's never too late to do that and to do what you love and to have a dream. And today I'm dreaming bigger than I've ever dreamt before. And you know what? That's so fun. It's so fun. So I was loving my role as a mom. I just felt so privileged and honored to be able to do that, to be that present mom. But guess what? My health was struggling and our finances were struggling. And we found ourselves just falling further and further behind year after year. And I just didn't have any real answers. There were no real answers that I was finding. And there was too much month at the end of our monies. Anybody ever experienced that? I know Sharon Rankin has. So, but listen, you guys, my vision for being that present mom, you have a vision for your life, right? I wanted to be a present mom. My husband's a pilot. He traveled all over. We didn't live near family. So I just wanted to be home with my kids. And so that kind of was limiting my options for all those professional dabbler jobs I did before, going out and getting another job at JOB, which would take me away from the kids, take me away from what I truly loved. And I just wasn't willing to compromise. And you're probably here tonight because you wanted something different, right? It's a different road. It's a different road, but I wanted something different. It's not that I didn't think I could go get a JOB. Pretty sure anybody can go get a JOB, right? But that's not how I saw my life. So that's when Juice Plus came into our life. And to say that was an answer to a prayer, and a big answer in a big way, is just that's unbelievable. I just couldn't believe that God answered that really precisely. So, here was this life-giving product, fruits and vegetables in a capsule. It was the thing that was missing for us. It was the thing that really got us back on that road, me in particular, back to health. But not only was it a life-giving product, but it was wrapped with a business opportunity, right? So there's lots of things that we can go do, or, that will help people with their health, right? Juice Plus is a big key in our life. But how many things are wrapped with a business opportunity, right? With passion and purpose, with a mission behind it to inspire healthier living around the world, to build a stable and lasting company, Jay Martin says, to help as many people as possible realize their dreams. Well, that was me. Realize my dreams, right? Your dreams. What can you do with this? So I was wowed from the very beginning. And I said, sign me up. I was all in from the very beginning. And what my friend didn't know about me is she didn't know that we were struggling with financial debt. She didn't know that I was not feeling well. She didn't know any of that when she shared. But guess what? The day that she shared Juice Plus with me was like the day that the lights came back on in our world. I could like see again. I could see that vision where I wanted to be. I could see it again. So remember that when you're sharing, right? It was like hope. It was given hope to our dreams again. So we don't just sell a product. We don't just sell fruits and vegetables in a capsule. We actually give people hope. And that is what I want you guys to just think about. I want you to think about when you're sharing Juice Plus with people or our opportunity. Well, it always starts with the product, right? The product has to make sense to people. But, you know, when you're sharing that, are you taking it from your head to your heart? I mean, you could just think of my story. If it's not your story, I'm sure you've heard many people's stories on here, how it's been life-giving for them or life-changing or given them hope in their world. But you know, it is that. So remember that. Take that from your head to your heart. And so my vision for my life and what, you know, I wanted led me to get really uncomfortable. I got really comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I was uncomfortable a lot, but guess what? I knew that if things were going to change, if our financial situation was going to change, that if it was meant to be, it was up to me, right? Nobody was going to go do it for me. So being uncomfortable, man, I remember being at my very first Branson boot camp. Sharon and Dave Rankin were still running it then. And I had to go up go up in front of the room and just say my name in the microphone. And I couldn't even do it, you guys. I couldn't even talk. I really couldn't. So that's how uncomfortable I was. So I just want you guys to know that it's okay if you're uncomfortable in the beginning. It's okay if your voice shakes. One time I came out of the office and my husband and my kids said, "You're going to get better." That's how bad I was. So it's okay. But you know what? Here's what I also know and believe. I believe that everyone deserves to hear about Juice Plus. So I was willing to have a shaky voice, to be uncomfortable, because I knew what this meant to me. I knew that people in my world deserve to hear it. So do you believe that, right? Do you believe that other people around you deserve to hear about our products and our opportunity? So, okay. So let's see, what took me from that day in 2004 to today as a new EMD, right? So that has been a long journey. And I think part of it is that vision, that long-term vision. And I'll talk to you about that in a minute. But you've got to know that your vision for what you really want in your life is going to drive you through the challenges. And so I believe that one of the words that I really love, and it's one of my 3 life words, is this word called grit. And it really, I mean, for me, it has been part of my life story and my life journey. And, you know, I don't know if anybody here's parents or grandparents said, you know, just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Anybody? I might just be showing my age. Sometimes when I tell, my kids that or say it to my younger team, they're like, okay, I've never heard that. I don't even know what you're talking about. But sometimes you just have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right? And you got to get to work on what you want in your life. And that takes grit. And so I want to talk to you just about what grit is. So there is a TED Talk out there by a woman named Angela Ducksworth, and she's a researcher and a psychologist. So if you have not seen that TED Talk, go look it up, because when I first saw her TED Talk, I was like, wow, it just blew my mind. And I was like, this is it. This is it. This is what helps people to achieve their dreams and their goals. So she says the definition, according to her, grit is passion and perseverance for long-term and meaningful goals. So my question to you is what you're doing meaningful to you? Is it meaningful? Because for me, remember, I saw that life-giving product. And so that meant that there was passion and purpose behind what I was doing, right? My girlfriend always says, we're not selling candles here. I mean, no offense, I love a good candle, right? But it's not life-giving. It's not life-giving. So for you have to have passion and perseverance. So why is that important? Well, she says that it's because it is the driver of achievement and success, independent of and beyond what talent, intelligence, and contribution can do. Wow. I thought, well, first of all, that's really good news for me, because I'm not the smartest, I'm not the most talented, and I certainly don't have the most contribution of people in this Juice Plus company or on my team. I do have my strengths and I know them, right? It has taken me a while to really lean into my giftedness. Okay, so that's the other thing. We all have gifts and talents and strengths here, but guess what? You don't have to be, you're not in this alone, right? You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Look at all these leaders you have on your team. You talk about smart and gifted and talented. Oh my goodness. You've got so much to tap into here, right? And we get to lean on each other, and we get to borrow people's gifts and strengths and talents and abilities. And that's what we get to tap into. So how cool is that? For me, that was really good news. And she also goes on to say that without grit, talent may be nothing more than unmet potential. So there is nothing more than I don't like than unmet potential. I am a student. I love to learn. I love to grow. I just can't stand seeing people who just have given up in their life. Do you know anybody like that? They're just like, well, that's it. That's all I got. That's it. I'm like, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, that can't be it. We're till the day I die. I just hope that God continues to help me to grow and learn. So anyway, so that's it, right? So grit is part of the equation for it. It has been for me. So here's 3 characteristics of grit that I want to share with you. There's 5 but I don't have time to talk about them all tonight. I wish I could talk to you guys forever and ever about this. But the first one that I'm going to talk to you about is courage. And courage is the ability to manage the fear of failure. So I have a question for you. What is failure? It's false evidence appearing real, right? Fear is really not real. It's really mostly between our ears, right? It's right here. So let's talk about the evidence of what we have with Juice Plus. We have, a 20, how old is Juice Plus now? 26, 27 years old? I've lost track. Something like that. More than 25-year-old product. It's the most thoroughly researched product in the world. It has, we have I don't even know how many studies we have anymore. Are we up to 40? I don't know, something like that. 38 to 40 studies, right? Gold standard studies. I mean, who can dispute Juice Plus? Okay, the evidence of Juice Plus is real. I hope you all know that. What about our company that Sharon talked about? 50 years old, stable and lasting, growing, innovative. Oh my gosh, you could go on and on and on about the company. What about your team? Look at how successful your team is. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys a secret. You have to promise not to say anything. I think we just promoted our first NMD. Shh. But I'm going to tell you, I was so tired coming on your call tonight because I was like, it takes a minute to birth an NMD, but I am so pumped about it. But guess what, you guys? Your team is successful, our company is successful. That's the evidence. That's what you have backing you up. That's what you have backing you up. So are you willing, right? Because here's the missing link between all of that. Just go like this to yourself, right? It's us. Are we willing to, first of all, are you willing to be new? Are you willing to stumble, bumble, and fumble? If you are new, you're not going to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect, but you have to be willing to be new at something. You have to be willing to like go through the things, right? So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to tell you a quick story. So I told you back in April, we moved in this house. The company threw out the come join us incentive. I mean, like 48 hours, all in recruiting. We were stepping over boxes in our house. We hadn't moved for 33 years, guys. It was a hot mess. But when your company throws out an incentive like that, or anything the company does, that join the mission, anything that they do, you grab hold of it, right? They're giving us a gift. So we went to work and we recruited 60 partners in 48 hours. Well, that's momentum. That's momentum. And that took us into being a new EMD in the fall, right? You recruit 60 partners. They're going to, they didn't all go to the moon or anything, but hey, that was a lot of momentum. So you have to feel the fear and do it anyway. And you have to grab hold of the opportunities and have the courage to do that, even though it's not perfect timing in your life. Okay. If you have a long-term goal. So this is my second thing, long-term goals and endurance. This is my favorite one. So extraordinary success requires a long-term mindset. If you look at your leaders on this team, I know they've all had a long-term mindset in this business. So if I ask you today, what's the vision for your life 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, right? I'm sure your leaders have asked you this, but where will you live? How old will you be? How old will your husband be? How old will your kids be? What do you want to do, be, have, give away, right? You have to have clarity. Clarity is everything. Can you see it, right? Is it written down? Do you have it on a vision board? Do you look at it every day? Do you think about it? Do you visualize yourself there? I'll just tell you real quick. I visualized this house that we're in for years, and we finally moved here last year. So I'm super excited about that. So that's the thing. You have to have a burning desire for something different than what you have right now. And are you holding on to a plan B just in case this doesn't work out? Are you going all in? Because I will tell you that you kind of have to have an all in attitude. It doesn't mean you have to quit your job or whatever, but you have to see this for what it is. And I'm speaking to you tonight because I believe if you're on this call, you want something more. So I'm just assuming that. I don't know if I should assume that, but I am assuming that. So lock it in and practice it. Go to work on it, because we read a book a couple years ago. It's called "There's No Plan B for Your A Game." No plan B for your A game. And he says all this stuff, but he said you have to have this long-term, like 15-year goal in order to be masterful and like wildly successful at something. So I was like, all right, I'm all in on that. Okay, so the third and final one, I know we're just a few minutes away from the top of the hour, is resilience. Okay, remember, I'm real. I'm going to tell you something. If you're in this long enough and you're in it to win it, you're going to fall. People are going to quit your team. Customers are going to quit. Somebody's going to say boo and somebody's going to go away. Is it true? Right? It's true. It's true. They are. But how resilient are you? How willing are you? How clear is your dream to keep going? So I'll tell you a quick story. When we hit NMD in 2013, I was so, gosh, you guys, that's just a magical moment. It's just so cool. But right at that time, my daughter was graduating from college, moving home, and then she was getting married that summer. So I hit NMD in April, and boom, I went into mom mode, mover mode, wedding planner mode. And by the end of the summer, guess what? My business had like taken a nosedive to the point where I had gone into some shame about that because my paycheck had fallen. My team had kind of like gone off in la la land because I wasn't driving my own energy bus. And I went into some straight up shame about that until I remembered the vision for my life. And guess what? Pulled my bootstraps back up, got gritty. And I went back to work, and it took me a couple years. We went from an 8 club, we had fallen back to an 8 club with like significant fall, to a 39 club. Like it took me a couple years to get us back there, right? With consistency of events and all of that kind of thing. But here's my favorite thing. See, gritty people believe that everything will be all right in the end. And if it's not all right, it's not the end. And I knew it wasn't all right, and it wasn't the end. So be optimistic and believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in your dreams. Believe that you can do it. Because when you believe it, you give other people permission to do that. Same thing, right? Same thing. And you got to be optimistic. It's like magic dust. You just got to go sprinkle that stuff everywhere. Optimism is like magic dust, okay? And we sure could use some more optimism in our world. Could we not? Amen? Okay. So in conclusion, I just want to just wrap it up here and say that, you know, there's obstacles along the way. There are challenges along the way. Sure there are. I share my story with you so that maybe you can avoid some of the pitfalls, right? I'm sure your team, your leaders here share their experience, but guess what? Everybody's journey is their own. It's your journey. It's okay. It's okay. You can get back up and you can ride on, or you can start at 41 or 50 or 60, and you can do whatever you want with this. So here's some things. If you're new on the phone, or on the Zoom tonight, I want to tell you some things that I would focus on if I could do it over again. 1, cultivate an abundant growth and mindset. Abundant mindset. And dive into personal growth right away. You know, what I didn't tell you in the middle there is I got to sales coordinator in 6 months, and I sat there for 5 years. So if you are in this area where you've been sitting for a while and you're like, I don't like the word stuck, but I say it's an opportunity for growth. If you're feeling stuck, it means you have an opportunity to grow past where you are. And it just took me 5 years. God just had to work on me a little harder. So do that. Invest. I know your team has many resources to invest in personal growth. Be a reader and never stop. Okay, number 2, always offer the opportunity to everyone. It's a gift. In the beginning, I only offered the product. I mean, I did, but I was real shy about it. And I was like, I don't know. I just didn't have enough belief in myself. You have mentors on this team that can just connect them to them. Just connect them to them. That's all you have to do, right? If you don't have the belief yet. And number 3, never, ever, ever, ever give up on your dreams. Never give up on your dreams. You guys, this is possible for you, right? It's an opportunity. It's a wonderful company. Enjoy the journey. Just really believe that you can do it. That's what I want to tell you. All right, guys, thank you for having me tonight. I so appreciate it.
Oh, Karrie, that was absolutely amazing, amazing. Just thank you so much for your heart and your time and sharing with us. You have a beautiful story, and we're all going to get our grit. I get emotional just hearing your story. Just thank you so much. Sharon, do you want to unmute the lines or people to unmute and tell Karrie thank you for joining us this evening? It's been just wonderful. Thank
I'll
you.
just let people unmute themselves.
Yes,
You guys
okay.
can unmute yourself. Thank you,
Thank you,
Karrie. We
Thanks,
cannot
Karrie.
thank you
Thank you
enough.
very much.
Very
Thank
Thank
you.
you very
Good
much.
night,
Thank you.
guys. Have an awesome night.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Love the tips for if I could do it all over again. That is really good. Thank you.
Right.
You're welcome. Good
Thank
night,
you so
guys.
much.
Good to see you guys.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
Have a fabulous week, everybody. Let's shine the light for health and hope. People are praying for an answer. Good night. Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Karrie.